A beautiful and confident young black woman who just wanted to buy some personal items became the target of an arrogant white police officer. Her sharp words angered him, leading to actions that spiraled out of control. But what the police officer didn't know, she was not just a victim. She was the city commissioner's daughter, and things had just begun. The morning was crisp, sunlight spilling through the glass windows of Crestwood Market, a small grocery store on a quiet street. Inside, the soft hum of background music and the faint rustle of shopping bags created a calm, ordinary rhythm. Kiera Jensen stepped inside, her bright red coat glowing under the store lights. Her natural dark hair framed a face both graceful and strong. She planned only to grab a few items before heading home. Strolling through the aisles, she stopped to examine a bottle of lotion, smiling faintly at the scent. But the tranquility broke when the entrance bell chimed sharply. Officer Marcus Thorne entered, tall, broad-shouldered, his uniform crisp, his face cold. He scanned the store until his gaze landed on Kiera. A smirk curved across his lips. Adjusting the stun gun on his belt, he swaggered closer. "Well, today's my lucky day," he said loudly. Kiera ignored him, reaching for another item, but he stepped in her path. "You're stunning," he said, voice dripping arrogance. "That coat, that hair, you look like one of those fancy models." Kiera turned, her expression calm but cutting. "I'm Busse. Step aside." Marcus chuckled mockingly. "Feisty, aren't you? I was just complimenting you." "Then learn the difference between a compliment and harassment," she said sharply. The words struck him like a slap. His smirk faltered, replaced by a sneer. "You think you're someone special? Don't forget where you come from. People like me decide what happens here." "People like you?" Kiera replied, steady and fearless. "The ones hiding behind a badge to feel powerful." His face darkened. "Watch your tone. I can arrest you for disrespecting an officer." "Then do it," she said, unflinching. "But it'll say more about you than me." Murmurs rippled through the store. Customers froze, whispering nervously. Marcus's hand hovered near his weapon, his pride boiling into rage. "Apologize," he hissed. "Now." Kiera folded her arms. "Never." His control snapped. In a flash, he drew his gun, pointing it at her chest. Gasps filled the air. A cashier screamed. Yet Kiera stood firm, her heartbeat steady. "You just made the worst mistake of your career," she said quietly, pulling out her phone. Marcus stepped closer, sneering. "Who are you calling? Go ahead." Kiera pressed a button. "Dad," she said when the line connected. In his City Hall office, Commissioner Arthur Jensen looked up from his papers. Seeing his daughter's name flash on the screen, he answered. "Kiera? Everything all right?" Her voice was calm, but cold. "I'm at Crestwood Market. A cop pulled a gun on me." Arthur froze. "What? Are you safe?" "For now. But you'd better come quickly." The commissioner's jaw tightened. "Stay where you are." He slammed the receiver down and barked. "Get Chief Reynolds in here now." Within minutes, Police Chief Dana Reynolds strode into the office. "Sir, one of your officers just threatened my daughter with a gun." "Elm Street. Move." Dana's eyes widened. "I'll handle it personally." "No," Arthur said, grabbing his coat. "I'm coming." Within minutes, a convoy of black SUVs tore through the streets, sirens silent but urgent. Meanwhile, inside Crestwood Market, tension hung like a wire. Marcus kept his weapon raised, breathing hard, trying to appear in control. "You think your call scares me?" he barked. "I'm the law here." "No," Kiera said softly. "You're the shame of it." Around them, customers filmed quietly with trembling hands. Marcus's eyes darted nervously, but his ego refused to yield. "Put that phone away," he shouted, waving his gun. Everyone stopped filming. No one moved. The hum of distant sirens began to grow. Kiera didn't flinch. "It's too late, officer," she said. "You're already finished." Outside, the black SUVs screeched to a halt. Armed security and Chief Reynolds stepped out with Commissioner Jensen at the center, his face set like stone. When he entered the store, the scene froze. Marcus, gun in hand. Kiera, calm and composed. Frightened witnesses pressed to the walls. Arthur's voice boomed. "Marcus Thorne, drop your weapon." Marcus spun around, stunned. "Sir, I didn't now," Dana barked, stepping forward. Marcus's gun clattered to the floor. Arthur's eyes burned with fury as he walked to his daughter's side. "Are you hurt?" "I'm fine," Kiera said, finally exhaling. "But he pointed that gun right at me." Dana turned to her officers. "Take him into custody." Marcus's face drained of color. "You can't do this." A gulp. "You were," Arthur said coldly. "Now you'll answer for what you've done." As he was handcuffed and led away, silence filled the supermarket. Arthur placed a hand on his daughter's shoulder. "You handled it well," he murmured. Kiera looked around at the shaken faces of the customers, then back at her father. "People need to see what really happens out here," she said quietly. Arthur nodded grimly. "They will." Outside, as cameras began to flash and the convoy prepared to leave, one thing was certain. What had begun as a simple shopping trip was about to shake the entire city. Kiera stood still, her eyes calm but filled with contempt. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life, Marcus, and you will pay for it." Marcus laughed loudly, as if he couldn't believe what she said. "Pay? Don't even dream about it. With this uniform, I'm the law here. What do you think a girl like you can do?" But Marcus's smile quickly disappeared when a car horn sounded from outside the supermarket. The black convoy with flashing blue lights stopped right in front of the door. The glass doors of the supermarket swung open, and Arthur Jensen entered, followed by Chief of Police Dana Reynolds and a large security detail. The commissioner's face was stern, and his anger was barely contained. The people around immediately moved aside to make way for them. "What is going on here?" Arthur demanded, each word a command that made everyone in the supermarket hold their breath. Marcus, though a little surprised by the group's appearance, tried to keep his composure. He turned around and came face to face with the commissioner but did not immediately recognize him. "I'm on duty," Marcus said, trying to keep his voice authoritative. Arthur stepped straight in front of him, his eyes sharp as knives. "Doing a job by threatening a young woman with a gun in your hand? Do you know who she is?" Marcus chuckled, but his voice began to shake. "I don't care who she is. She caused trouble, and I dealt with it my way." Chief Dana Reynolds stepped forward. "Put down your weapon, Officer Thorne. You've just overstepped your bounds." Marcus froze, his eyes filled with worry. I was just doing my job. This is not a job. This is abuse of power and intimidation. You will face the consequences," Arthur said, his voice accusing. Marcus froze. His face was white, his eyes scanning the crowd that was looking at him with contempt and anger. Arthur took the phone from Kiera and watched the video. In the video, everything was clearer than ever. Marcus approached Kiera with a harassing attitude from the beginning, making crude, flirtatious comments. When Kiera resisted, he immediately changed his attitude, using racist words, blatantly insulting her. The climax was when he pulled out a gun and threatened her while Kiera remained calm in front of him. Arthur's face darkened as he handed the phone to Chief Reynolds. "Look at it," Arthur said, his voice as cold as ice. Dana finished watching, her eyes filled with controlled fury. "Officer Thorne, you have seriously violated departmental rules. Not only have you abused your power, but you have also broken the law." Marcus stammered, trying to come up with an excuse. "I was just trying to keep order." She was being provocative. "You can't convict me based on a video." Dana stepped in front of Marcus, her voice firm. "Give me your gun and badge now." "What? You can't do that." Marcus protested, his eyes filled with panic. "This is an order. You are suspended immediately, pending further investigation." "But with what I just saw, you pointed a gun at the commissioner's daughter, you idiot. You will never have the chance to become a police officer again." Marcus stood there, unable to believe what he had just heard. But under Dana's stern gaze and Arthur's obvious anger, he had no choice but to remove his gun and badge, placing them in Dana's hands. The atmosphere in the supermarket became more tense than ever. The crowd stood watching. No one said anything, but the anger on their faces was unmistakable. Arthur stepped forward, looking straight at Marcus, who now looked like a man whose strength had been drained. "Do you think that wearing a police uniform gives you the right to do whatever you want? Do you think that gives you the right to discriminate, to abuse your power, to intimidate people just because of the color of their skin? You are gravely mistaken." He turned to the crowd, his voice booming as if he wanted everyone here to hear every word. "As commissioner of this city, I want to make it clear. No one, no matter what position, should behave like this. I do not tolerate any form of racism in our community, and certainly not in law enforcement." The crowd began to applaud, cheers rising from all sides. Arthur turned to Dana. "Make sure he is fully investigated, and if necessary, refer this matter to higher authorities." Dana nodded. "I will do so, sir." The incident did not end with the suspension. It became a wake-up call for the entire city. The media continued to report, praising the decisive handling of the incident by Commissioner Arthur Jensen and Chief of Police Dana Reynolds. Many saw the incident as a testament to the changing way police abuses are handled. Kiera, despite not wanting to be in the spotlight, has become a symbol of the fight against injustice. The case became a costly lesson, reminding everyone that power is not a tool for oppression, and that injustice, no matter how small, should not be ignored.